Air Warfare and World War One by Andy Mehmeti. Different aircrafts in World War One. The Bristol F-2 fighter was used in World War One and throughout future battles in the British Empire. It was decided to be the best two-seat airplane, and it also won an award for it. It had a small operating machine gun, but it was not very accurate, which would not make the Bristol F-2 a successful airplane. The Zeppelin was a unique aircraft. It was the world's first untethered aircraft. It was invented by Count Ferdinand Graf von Zeppelin. It had two propellers on the bottom, and its main material was made out of aluminum. The speed of the aircraft wasn't very fast, as it went only 3.7 miles in 17 minutes. At the beginning of World War I, Germany only had 10 of the Zeppelins. These Zeppelins were mostly used as bombers. The reason why it wasn't successful was because it would reach a target silently and it wasn't known. The Battle of Arras was also the Martin MB-1, which is also known as the Glen Martin bomber, was the first American-designed heavy bomber. The airplane had two engines, and it was designed by the Glen Martin Company. There were only 9 airplanes that were manufactured, but it was significant because it introduced the bomber airplanes to America. It also introduced a closed cockpit. The Battle of Arras was also referred to as Bloody April from RFC. This event happened on April 1917 during the World War I. It was called Bloody April because there was a large amount of deaths that occurred during this month. In fact, the RFC lost 3 times more as the Imperial Germany army. Most of the battle happened in air, where England brought in 385 fighters and the Germans brought in only 114. Although England believed that they had such a huge advantage and an easy victory because of the amount of airplanes that they brought in, they actually ended up losing a third of the planes. During this month, there was 17.5-hour expectant rate of a pilot's life, which was very short. The aftermath of the Battle of Arras was even more devastating for British. The British lost 245 aircrafts, 211 air crew killed or missing, and 108 as prisoners of war. The Germans lost 66 aircrafts only. The RFC ended up losing 576 people from casualties throughout the year. The Germans came out victorious, scoring 89 victories during Bloody April. An ace is a military aviator or airman credited with shooting down 5 or more enemy aircrafts. Manfred Freyer von Richthofen was one of the most successful aces for Germany and for World War I. He was ranked a Rittmaster. He was awarded with 80 victories, which was the most that any ace received during World War I. He was killed on April 21st, 1918 in Marlincourt Ridge. René Paul Fonck was an ace for France. He was ranked as a captain. He was in the French Air Service and was rewarded with 75 victories. He died on June 18, 1953 in Paris. He was one of the few aces that weren't killed during the war. Edward Manock, which was also known as Mick Manock, was an ace from England. He was ranked as a major and was a part of the Royal Flying Corps and the Royal Air Force. He was awarded with 61 victories. He died on July 26, 1918, near Lestrem. His memorial is in Arras Flying Service, which is located in France. William Avery Bishop was also known as Billy Bishop. He was an ace from Canada. He is arguably the best ace in World War I. He was ranked as a lieutenant colonel, and he was part of the Royal Flying Corps. He was awarded with 72 victories. He died on September 11, 1956 in Palm Beach, Florida. His cemetery is found in Greenwood in Canada. The impact on airplanes in World War I. Airplanes were first used for observation purposes, but then became an important weapon. By the end of World War I, people began to realize that not only was air warfare very important, it also would win battles. It had greatly impacted end results of the war. Although aircrafts were both slow and difficult to fly, there was still a crucial use to it. Airplanes were being sent to receive information on their enemies. An example of this would be on August 22, 1914. Two aircrafts returned to their base, which was in England. The information was about the location of the German and that they were going to soon attack. Without the work of the airplane, this would not have been known. Airplanes were also used for different things such as shooting down other airplanes or bombing ships. Later on in the war, machine guns were being mounted on to the airplane. This would change the use of an airplane into being more dangerous and actually killing the enemies. This was done by Roland Garros in 1914. Soon bombs were being sent onto the airplanes and they were being dropped in enemy locations. With these powerful airplanes, more deaths were caused and more victories were earned. Thank you for watching.